Welcome to the Mindset RX podcast, the show for functional athletes who want a champ's mindset. So, as per this new kind of style of podcast, I just switched on the mic and given this kind of minimal thought, because I believe that when I give minimal thought, I'm more likely to be more vulnerable with you, I suppose, more open, more exposed. And the more I plan, the more I've learned to hide my true self. And I suppose that's really what I want to start with, that the kind of aspect of we're never going to show up as our best self until we are willing enough to see ourselves as we actually are, like to see our strengths and our weaknesses, to fully observe who we are. And if you're looking for athletic growth, the first thing we have to do is turn attention upon yourself so you can actually see yourself. Like, it's like getting to know yourself for the first time. And we always do things like this. Like the example that I was kind of halfway through giving is, I never used to commit to being my true self because I really didn't like what I saw. When I first looked at this, I saw someone shy, timid, scared, skinny, physically weak, lacking confidence, lacking social skills. Now I'm a man talking to himself in a kitchen, as I have been for many years now. But it's sometimes very uncomfortable to turn this image or turn the attention round upon yourself because, well, you don't like what you see sometimes. So the first thing I'm going to encourage you to do, and like in a very practical way, is, like I spoke about in the last podcast, to observe your inner athlete, to see yourself, because like that's how we learn. If we don't confront the parts of us that we dislike seeing, what Jung would call the shadow, then we can't change things, can we? We can't grow from there, and that's what we're essentially trying to do. I just shared a message with Team Mindset RX, like everyone who's working within Team Mindset RX, and like within that message is something like, when we aim at success and when we aim at like a limitless potential version of success and truly embark upon it and truly commit to it, we learn what we need to progress along that, because you're going to run into stumbling blocks. Stumbling, can't even say the word stumbling without stumbling. We're going to run into stumbling blocks, and we're going to run into difficulties, and we're going to miss opportunities, and we're going to fuck up, and luck's going to go against us, and all this kind of stuff. But our natural tendency is to turn away from that, but we have to look at it more clearly. We have to see it more clearly. We have to observe it and ask ourselves why it happened, and to see what role you played in it and take as much ownership of that as possible. Because combined with aiming at your true version of yourself and analyzing what's gone wrong and the points of, I suppose, interest along that journey, we can create the change, and we get progressively better equipped for the journey as we embark upon it. Okay, there's a brilliant example which is in Lord of the Rings. Like Lord of the Rings, I think it's The Hobbit with Bilbo. Yeah, Bilbo. What happens is he begins to take steps. Like he doesn't want to go on the journey, and then he starts the journey, and he starts off like forgetting his handkerchief. He starts off, it starts raining, and then and that's the very first beginning of the journey. And then the journey gets progressively more difficult, but he finds out upon that not only is he braver than he ever realized possible, but the lessons he learned previously equipped him for like more progressively along the way. The lessons he learned served their purpose at the time, even if they were short failures, and allowed him to progress. And if you're aiming at becoming the best athlete possible, if you're aiming at becoming the best accountant, mother, father, spouse, like sister, whatever it is, like if you're aiming at becoming the best version of you possible, you have to commit to that journey, because it's only by committing to the journey that you will ever become prepared to complete the journey. Whatever completion means. Probably nothing, but you know what I mean. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to talk to you about. And I suppose this all comes down to the book that I'm looking at right now. And the book that I'm looking at right now is called Maps of Meaning, the Architecture of Belief. And it's, well, slightly wider than normal book size. It's slightly taller than normal book size. I think Harriet said she thinks the font in here is size like 9 or something like that. So the font in here is very small. And it is, let me just see, 540 odd pages long. And this is a dense textbook all about as the architecture of belief. And it's something that I've been studying for ages now. Like the I suppose what Mindset RX is the architecture of belief. If we change the beliefs, we change the outcome. And this is a fantastic book on that. And it's like Jordan Peterson's textbook. And I think he gave it to all the attendees of his psychology lectures. So it's very good, but man, it's dense. I'm like, let me see where that little folded corner is. So I'm 52 pages in to a 500, so a tenth of the way through. So not doing too bad, but it's like yesterday I was trying to read this in a cafe, and it was like, oh man, it was tough to read. It was like it's starting to talk about see, I can't even remember, that's the sign that wasn't paying attention. Starting to talk about negative and positive brain waves, or ERPs, which you don't need to know about that. It's like I barely need to know about it, so you guys definitely don't. But it's starting to talk about like the physical structure, and it's like I kept on, like, I was reading the book, slightly attractive, very attractive girl opposite me, don't tell Harriet, and I was like, that's more interesting than the book in front of me. So I kept on finding my gaze like drifting up. Attractive, don't know, book, okay, can't on, and like, coffee, social media, and like I found myself kind of getting pulled in all these different directions, and I found it really hard to concentrate on the book. The kind of the thing that I knew was more meaningful to me, but the things that are short-term attractive to me are the things that I get pulled towards, and I'm sure will get pulled towards you. So, like, for example, not eating the right food, or taking the day off training, or not doing your mobility work, or maybe going out with more drinks than you anticipated with friends, or for example, the comfort of avoiding a difficult conversation with your spouse, or not progressing towards your limitless potential, something like that. That they are all the familiar options, and because they're familiar and immediately gratifying, we go towards them. And what this represents is safety. It represents the known, the familiar, the comfortable. It represents order, because that's your life in order, right? That is structure. That is, I understand all of the things that happen in this domain. So for me, I understood all the things that happened in that domain of, for example, going, that's an attractive girl. I look at her, I understand what's happening there. It's like, that's cool. Or looking at social media, it's like, okay, yeah, I understand that this is what I do. I scroll through this and waste my time doing this. It's safe. Like, nothing's going to change from looking at an attractive girl, drinking coffee, like doing the same things that I've always done. But that's not how we grow, is it? To grow, you have to willingly confront what is uncomfortable. You have to, like this, so like to zoom out a bit, this book in front of me, yes, it's 540 pages long. It's full of diagrams and references, and it's got words printed on paper, and it's got a cover, and it's got a peeling bit on the cover, and it's got printing mistakes, which I found a few, and like stuff like that. But it's not that I'm seeing. I'm seeing the meaning behind it. I'm seeing the complexity behind it. I'm seeing the challenge. Whenever I look at that book, it's not a book it's not slices of tree with ink on it that I'm looking at. It's the meaning behind it. It's the story I'm telling myself behind it. It's the complexity. It's the fact that I have to confront that bit of me that tells me I'm too stupid to be doing what I'm doing, or too stupid to learn, or I'm going to waste it, or I'm not clever enough to understand it. I have to confront that piece of me and willingly go towards that bit, because the more I hide away from that book, the more I chuck it aside, the more I don't take it with me when I go to work or whatever, or when I go to a coffee shop, or keep it out on the side, the more I don't do that, the more it grows in stature. the more it grows in significance, and the more I prove to myself that I am not the type of person who is capable of reading that book. But the more I take it page by page, literally page by page, I was even doing paragraph by paragraph yesterday. The more I do that, the more I show myself I'm the type of person I want to be. And then when I show myself I'm the type of person I want to be, my expectations of myself and my own ability to be that person increases and progresses, right? So what I'm saying is this challenge, this conflict of, do I go towards the thing that makes me uncomfortable but I know is meaningful in the long run, or do I go towards what is immediately gratifying and familiar? Do I confront the unknown? Do I confront chaos and make order of it, or do I stick within order? That is the kind of conflict that you guys are involved in on a daily basis. When you're thinking about how do I become the best version of myself, it's more complex than forcing yourself to do things. This isn't about force, by the way. I don't think you can force yourself to do things, but you can create more awareness of your choices, more awareness of your mental state, and like doing the observe your inner athlete, the AMWAP, the aiming up and embracing hardship, that will all do that. But you can't just make yourself do this. It's like you've got to understand it and you've got to increase the awareness around it. There's two things basically that we can, I was going to put out this training thing, but I think you guys should probably find it. If you go to mindsetrx.thinkific.com, you will see some stuff, or basically join the Facebook group. I'll give you that one time. MindsetRx, so mindsetrxd.com, .thinkific, so thinkific.com. Then you will see that, or you can head to Mindset for Functional Athletes, our group, so Mindset for Functional Athletes. You can see like the training I'm giving out, but within that training I discuss there's two things, and by the way, the first part of that training is free and then the second part is paid, because I want you all to understand this. But the first way we can create change is by rewriting the narratives, like the maps of meaning, to use the book that's looking at me, the structures of belief that we have about going towards comfort or going towards discomfort. We can rewrite those narratives, and that's what creates change, like essentially rewriting our values. Or we can rewrite our awareness, we can increase our awareness, we can see the world and see our own reaction to it more clearly. And that's how we create change, with those two things. So I suppose, guys, that's really it for this week. It's not a long one, and I never intended these to be long podcasts, but there's a few things probably to update you on. Firstly is that 21-day challenge that I was talking about. It's gone live. We're not actually promoting it, but you guys can hear about it first. It's the we're going to start promoting it at some point, and we're going to have applications, but you can actually join just by heading to mindsetrx.com/thinkific and signing up there. I mean, it's only £75, so it's a really small investment for what it is. 21 days of our coaching essentially, and you can start at any date. So head to mindsetrx.thinkific.com, and you can check that out. 21-day challenge, all about how to change your mindset and get introduced to the tools. And yeah, it's really, really a good way to progress, and it's going to give you a bunch of knowledge about how to change who you are, essentially, to become the athlete and the human being that you want to be. So that's number one. Number two, the free Facebook group is killing it right now. Like, we're doing, like, everyone in there, I've introduced everyone to the tools, and they're doing really well, and they're growing really nicely. So that's doing exceptionally well. A couple of other things just to spike your awareness or peak your awareness. We are actively looking for more athletes for the Digital Mindset Gym. So if you really want to go full in with this, we are here to help. And some other things coming out. Coach Rachel has just written a fantastic book all about how to essentially overcome the willpower problem and become the type of person you want to be. This will be coming out soon, and I'll let you know. I just need to edit it and post it up and basically sort out all the publishing things. That will be available soon, as will Coach Rachel's competition prep training, which is awesome. And I've been through it myself, and it's really, really fantastic. So that is coming up very soon. But until then, like this kind of podcast, I'm not sure, you can't like it, can you? But you can leave reviews and you can share it. those are things that I'd love you to do. If if you can't support us by joining the Digital Mindset Gym, maybe you can't afford it, or maybe it's not for you yet, or you can't support us by subscribing to 21 Day Challenge or anything like that, then what I'd suggest is if you can please like and share this podcast. It reaches more athletes, so like and share it, and then leave a good review on iTunes or wherever you listen to this podcast. So thank you for listening. There's hopefully 15 minutes to finish your week or start your week, whenever you listen to it, that will help you for the rest of it. Follow us on Facebook. That's probably a thing to do. Join the Facebook group, that kind of thing. But anyway, enjoy the rest of whatever day it is you're listening, and enjoy your weekend if you're listening to this on Friday when I publish it. Other than that, I'll speak to you very soon.